Hi everyone, we are still working on a Merlot experiment. What we have here is the RC212 yeast bucket. My hands are sterilized, so sorry about the foam, but we have the RC212 bucket here, and what we're actually noticing is we're approximately 6 days from fermentation. So we inoculated last Monday. It is currently Monday. We inoculated last Monday. Tuesday we noticed cap formation. Fermentation we kept within ranges appropriate for each yeast strain here. And remember, we have the 4 buckets of Merlot with different yeast strains and different enzymes, the enzyme experiment. And what you're noticing here is we're getting to the end of fermentation. When you start to see this level of extraction, when you see these grapes, the skins are actually starting to get real papery and thin, and they're starting to change a universal color. You still have still some color in these berries, and some of these whole berries still have some color in them. But a lot of the colors and flavors have already been extracted, and what we noticed was a couple of days ago this cap was about here, and now it's starting to recede a little bit. So we're approaching the end of fermentation. 6 days is probably right around the correct time period. Over the next 2 days we're probably going to end up pressing, which we'll have videos for that as well. But I wanted to just point something out. This RC212 strain, you see how the cap has actually been pressed down a bit, or sunk a little bit, receded a little bit, relative to the D80 bucket, which is actually over here. The cap is a lot higher, and you can see it relative to that rim. These are the same type of buckets between the both of them. So this is a little bit further behind in fermentation. When you switch back to this guy right here, we've actually noticed there's a lot more space between that rim, as I was talking about, and those grapes still look a little wet. So what we're going to do is we're going to punch down. So we still got some fermentation action going, and you want to kind of let this go until the cap recedes and your specific gravity readings are well below 1.990 or lower, or your Brix readings have flattened out for a couple of days, which we have not achieved yet, but it's definitely slowing down. You'll still see evidence of fermentation. The smell is absolutely incredible, but pushing it down is definitely not as hard as the last video that you guys saw, where the cap was very, very stiff. It's very easy to push down now. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to take Brix readings, temperature readings, ensure we're in the right range, and then just to reassure, I'm actually going to take a specific gravity reading, in which I'm going to take a strainer, which is this, completely sterilized, and I'm going to end up pushing it in the must, collecting the liquid up top, and using a sterilized cup to pull it out and put it in my graduated cylinder for a specific gravity reading. And the reason why we're doing that is just to confirm, because refractometry is affected by alcohol concentration. But there is one thing I want to point out. These grapes here are 2011 grapes that have been frozen for a while. And you can still see that the freezing process that Vino Superiore has undergone still provides a whole berry. The whole berry skin is still intact as well. The juices come out over time through fermentation, but that skin is not ruined at all, and that's a large part to the actual way we freeze these grapes. So that all goes as part of the quality, and there's still plenty of whole berry too during this fermentation. Once again, the juice and the sugar has actually come out during fermentation. Yeast has gotten in there, and naturally through press these will pop even further. But if we pop one of these, you're not going to see too much juice actually come out. Seed is still in there, but those skins, once again, are still really, really intact. And in this particular case, some of them still have color. There's plenty in this, and this goes back to the level of quality of Vino Superiore and the actual freezing process that we use when we actually use liquid nitrogen. So once again, going to take some samples, some Brix readings, and we'll catch you up on the press. Okay.